going on? Oh, I love that song. Oh, if only I could play that and not get it taken right off. Hello, my name is Jenna. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I am here 7 days, 7 nights, 14 times a week, right here on my personal page, Jenna Mammina. And if you are here watching right now, thank you. I'm going to make it a public page so that everybody, including the two of you that are watching, thanks, Mom. And then it is now public. And if you're watching it right now, amazing. If you're watching it later, thank you very much. If you're watching it on YouTube, hello, love it. Share the show, tell your friends, come be my guest. It is New Year's Day. Happy New Year's Day. Woo! Last night, we were everywhere. It was a really great night. Oh yeah, there's my little Father Time gnome guy. Yeah. And I have the window open because I like cool air. And I like to listen to the cars go by because it snowed. So it's snow-covered streets. And yeah, I did have these on last night for a minute, didn't I? Happy 2022. Happy 2022. Happy 2022. Yes, it has been. No, actually, Rich, we were up until 5 last night. And then I was back on today at 11. And these need to be cleaned. My eyelashes are kind of long. So they rub onto the glass. Who's here? Sunny Bryant. Hi. Hi. Oh, we watched a movie tonight, Mystery, about the wolf dog thing. Dog. Like you didn't, well, Nino used to have wolves, so I knew wolves. And, oh, Princess, I love you. Hi, Patty Lohman. Hey, William D. Yeah, we were up till 5-ish. And then back at it at 11:11, one more Saturday morning with Jeff Metzger. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's one more Saturday night with Lambert. Woo! I love that. To ask me about that. Tell us about that profile. Hello, Carl. Hi, Mama. Yeah. Hello. Wow, that's cool. I could give you a little music. Oh, ooh, and the red. Ooh. Unmute.
Hold on. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm having trouble hearing you, so give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to hunt down this little audio issue I'm having.
Hi, Mike Jacobs. Happy 2020.
Hold on.
2022. Is that how we say it? 2022.
Gotta look at all my make sure I'm connected to all the right things on audio, output volume. I think I'm good now.
Sounds good to us.
Okay, hold on. Now I've got to just turn off. Yeah, I've got to turn off your sound on. All right, hold on.
Oh, because you have headphones in? You have earbuds in?
Yeah, but I'm also getting the sound from Facebook on a delay. And now I think I'm good.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
You brought me on more rapidly than I was prepared to be.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. There should be like a little, yeah.
5, 4, 3. You're on it too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could text you that from now on if you want.
That's okay. This is an unusually. It turned out that one of the settings, the volume was down on one of my audio settings, which I don't know how that happened because I never mess with it. But there you go. And now I'm here and happy
too. Sorry.
That's okay. I had nothing of consequence to say except Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, it's another one of those things, another one of those compartments of time that we have no idea what it means anymore. Really. because it's been this blur of, like what, 700 and something days of complete disconnection from any kind of schedule or predictable agenda or anything like that. So I don't know. I guess it's 2022, according
It's
to
2022. That's what they say. Is that a brick wall to your left?
it is like white brick. Yes. It's
Nice. I like that.
well, that wall, this was actually the outer limit of the house at one point, and where I'm sitting now was like a screened in wooden porch.
Okay.
And then my parents had this turned into like a den like structure. So
And what's behind you? What's the room behind? What's the room behind?
that's like the dining room, and beyond the living room, and beyond that the couch, which has been sadly neglected for a while. Well, I was on the couch last week, wasn't I? I think I was back on the couch.
You were on the couch.
Yeah. And
we were talking about integrating, doing something, you cooking in the kitchen.
I was cooking in the kitchen.
We talked about the possibility of sometime you cooking in the kitchen.
Oh, doing a show while I was cooking in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I don't know where my kitchen's going to be pretty soon. So, that could be in a new location. I don't know. We don't know what the schedule is exactly, but it's going to be pretty chaotic here for a while. So I think doing one thing at a time is going to be about all I can handle. But perhaps when I have my a new more secured location, I can do something in the kitchen.
What are you in your wild mind thinking?
Oh, I'm trying to think as little as possible. I mean,
okay, but if you were to just kind of anywhere in particular?
Well, I want to stay around here. I want to stay in the New York area, but economic feasibility and work stuff and everything, it's all wild cards now. It's not things are as unsettled as they have ever been, in terms of not knowing what my next move is.
Here's to you. Standing ovation. One hand clapping as the other one's holding a cup of tea. What kind of tea are you drinking tonight?
This is one of those. It's a really nice kind of fruit infused black tea, with sort of tropical tones to it.
One of the Grateful Dead inspired teas.
Yes, one of those. And it's really nice. Some fruit teas are kind of cloying and they overwhelm the tea aspect of it. This, you really get the black tea essence, and then you get this real nice little flavor notes, as they like to say. So I'm happy with it. It's the perfect thing for this evening.
And we love the cup. I love the cup.
It's Magritte.
Magritte. So cool. Hi, Mama Grace. Who needs predictable agendas, says Suzanne. Well,
I could use some. right around now, I've been without predictable agendas for a while. So I could use a little more structure.
Well, speaking of structure, what have you been watching this week?
Let's see.
Anything fun?
Oh, well, I've been doing a Sue Ann Nivens marathon. That's been my most satisfying,
Oh, Sue Ann. Yeah.
For me, Betty White's greatest role, because Sue Ann was so monstrous and so had that sweetness and that monstrousness, and she was so funny. Gosh.
And where do you watch it?
On Hulu, actually. They have the entire run of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. So, and I actually, went through the Internet Movie Database and found each of the episodes that Sue Ann was in.
Okay.
Because they give, when you go to like Betty White's listing, you go down her credits and it says the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and it'll say like 49 episodes, and then you can click and get the specific episodes. So I've been very methodical about that. And she didn't join the show till like the 4th season.
Right, she was definitely.
And then was kind of special guest star status for a while. She was only on like 3 or 4 episodes her first season, and then she became so indispensable after a while that she became like and God, she was so great.
Hi, Jim Chang. Let's see. Right now we have Washington State. We have Washington, Kentucky. Mike Jacobs, where are you? Illinois, California, Michigan. Yeah. And there are 11 people. Do you mind just doing a little quick dance with me real quick?
Of course.
11 with Jenna. 11 with Jenna.
I'm going to continue. up to 13, but I figured why not just keep it rolling. Happy New Year to you, Jim. Rob Morocco. Morocco did a big old Morocco last night on the show. Whoa, like.
Yeah, I only, I said hello in the chat. I was only there for I was just about ready to fall asleep, and then I sort of happened upon it, so I just went, hi.
Well, we were there till close to 5 a.m. We did.
Good God.
Happy New Year all the way across the country.
Oh, you did all the time zones. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine popped in from Italy, and then I called a friend on Maui. So I touched all.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Yes. We have snow.
Right.
If you listen, you can hear the cars going by, and it's real quiet, and that rumbly sound.
Yeah.
Do you have snow?
We had none. I mean, I don't think there was any measurable snow in the month of December here.
This is our first real snow that where it stuck.
Yeah. So, and today I think was it was very rainy today, but I think it was in the 50s or 40s or something. That's been pretty much the average.
Crazy, right? Like January.
And tonight SNL changed their rerun schedule. They're showing the show with Betty White hosting.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah. So
that starts in 7 minutes.
That's right. I have the DVR set.
I'm recording the CNN the 60s right now, and it starts with the Beatles.
Oh,
so it's
that's
fun.
A good place to start.
Yeah, I think
they were okay.
Not bad. I didn't realize. I guess a young girl introduced the Beatles on a radio station. Did you know that? There's this young girl that heard of them, and then someone got a record.
Called a DJ and it was very grassroots in the beginning. I think Brian Epstein, got wind of them after they'd been around for a while, and everything went nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you were there.
I was there. Well, I was there when I was there watching Ed Sullivan, and then I was there at Shea Stadium late in the run in the live career. Pretty cool. It was pretty amazing to be a teenage Beatlemaniac.
I saw Beatlemania.
Oh, the show, the Broadway, or the theatrical touring show. Right. What did they call it in the advertising? Not the Beatles, an incredible simulation. Right.
They were great though. For a high school girl that was really into the Beatles, it satisfied some,
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like how I feel about when I see young kids with a Grateful Dead shirt on.
Sure.
Like I go, well, I was there. I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, that's really cool that they're carrying on the tradition.
But what's amazing is that those guys are still there, and they're, and then there's all these new permutations of the music, and which is very different. I mean, most Beatle cover bands sound like Beatle cover bands, but here you have the Dead music is like this living organism that keeps, mutating. And speaking of mutating experiences, I bailed out on the Mexico trip.
You did?
Yeah. They offered the bailout. I'll bet Jeff Metzger talked about this already.
We have not talked about it.
Oh,
we did talk about it today.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, yeah, for those who don't know, there's this festival about to happen in Mexico, and of course, old Omicron had people thinking, should it be canceled? Should it go on? Can it be done safely? So, and then there were people who said, I don't want to go, I want a refund, but they had bought into this, expensive, luxury resort weekend package, all inclusive, food and drink kind of thing, which made it much more complicated than just buying a concert ticket. And they had agreed, it was like a no refund policy from the start. And so the only way they could have really canceled the event would have been through government intervention if they had done a travel ban, or so it wasn't that dire. But it's dire enough for people to be concerned about it. So the band came up with, what I think is probably the closest thing to a good solution in this case where there really is no good solution, where they're going ahead with the event. They're letting people make the adult decision to go or not go under extremely rigid vaccination and testing regimens. They have to be tested the day before they fly there. They have to have a negative test in hand. They have to be fully vaxxed, preferably boosted. And but what they did was they offered refunds to anyone who wasn't comfortable.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And they're now selling some of those packages again because there was a wait list, so, but there will probably be, a few thousand people less than there would have been. And I just decided, I wasn't that fearful of my health because the people I know who are fully vaccinated and boosted and got infected have had sort of the bad cold kind of version of it, feeling rotten for a few days. Some have been completely asymptomatic.
But then you don't know what the hi Eileen, that you don't know what 3 months from now is going to feel like, 6 months from now.
Yeah, we don't know.
I know, I'm a long hauler. I'm like dealing with this stuff from a year plus ago, and
yeah, and they don't know yet if Omicron, will turn people into long COVID cases or not. They don't know the duration. So, yeah, it's, my main concern is I just wouldn't have had a very good time because I would be so hyper aware. And so, this is not going to be a great social experience.
Well, you would probably be in a hotel. Let me ask, hi, Nicholas. Hey, Mama Grace, can you do me a favor? Can you turn on the TV and put it on NBC and press that there's a red dot in the middle of the remote and record Saturday Night Live? NBC, whatever channel that is, channel 16, I don't know. We have do you have a remote where it goes, put on NBC? And all of a sudden, it's on. Yeah. And I just learned about the record button, so I'm like, record it. I recorded Jimmy Carter, CNN. Hello, Nicholas. How are you? Happy New Year. So I would have thought you and David would have been in a room anyway.
Well, we never found out. It may not have been logistically possible to broadcast from there, given the technological challenges. So, I wouldn't want to go to Mexico and be in a room. I'd still want to be out in the, out there on the beach when the music was happening. And when it just, too many things piled up that made me think, I just don't, I'd be on a beautiful beach and I wouldn't be having much fun, And I hope the people who do go there to have fun are very conscious of, what they're doing and stay masked. And, the fact that it's on a spacious beach outdoors with breezes, well ventilated, breezes blowing and everything is the good part. That's the best part of the scenario. And then don't want people partying in the bars too much in close proximity at night, although that seems to be part of your resort getaway experience.
Right.
So I just hope people are smart and conscious and, don't get stuck in Mexico for extra days because they got infected.
Yeah. So actually today when I asked Jeff if he was planning to go to Mexico anytime soon, he said maybe in March. He didn't even bring it up. So maybe he made that decision too.
He may have, quite a few people bailed when they offered the refund, which was, the right thing to do. And other people are still quite avid about going, and I just hope they're thoughtfully avid and not thinking, everything's going to be great just because, I mean, the band has really done incredible diligence in, they're in touch with the World Health Organization and, monitoring all of the developments. I mean, if some terrible new news came out tomorrow, they could cancel the whole thing.
Right. Hold on 1 second, Gary. Mama Grace is calling. Hi, Graciela.
Where's the record button?
There's a red button right in the middle of the remote.
There's a red button right in the middle. Because I've got NBC on.
You see the red button? Oh, you have your show on.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
And then it says record, and then it says commit or something, and you go commit. Oh, okay. Just press the commit button real quick.
It doesn't say commit. It says just this episode, and then I'll.
Yes, just this episode, because I don't really like Saturday Night Live anymore, although I like to see my friends in the band.
Yes. All right. Okay.
I go, hey, James. Hey, everybody. What's up? Thanks, Mama.
Okay, honey.
Bye. She's so cool. She was on last night till 4:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Well, I think that you made the right decision.
I feel like I did it, not so much for my physical health as for my peace of mind and my, lowering the anxiety level in general. Because this would have been like a 2-week run up. I put in for the refund on Thursday, exactly 2 weeks from the day I would have flown, and I'm so much more relaxed about it now. Traveling under even the most ideal situations is stressful sometimes. Going to someplace new and going to dealing with passport.
To another country.
Yeah. So
across from New York to Mexico.
Yeah.
It's like when I lived in California, and I go to Mexico and I lived down there. It was closer to fly to Mexico than it was to New York City. Go Dubs! Yes, the Dubs just beat Utah. Woo!
Good.
Warriors.
The Dubs are beautiful.
Yeah, they are. So yeah, Gary, I think you made the right decision, because just flying. When was it? The 9th you were going to go, or the week?
Well, no. The first weekend starts. People are going to be flying this Thursday for the first weekend. I was going the second weekend, which I would have flown on Thursday the 13th and stayed till the 18th. So I feel like I made the right choice for me, and I hope other people made the right choice for them. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm really oh, they did change it. Okay. They changed it. Did they really? No, that's a APAC.
Here in the SNL band. Betty White's walking on, so I just turned up the sound for a minute. Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Okay.
Thank you for that. Okay, so there will be. Okay, so APAP is happening. When in New York in January. You know how I'm usually there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I usually do Jen wherever Jen is. That's happening. Then I do the jazz. What do they call it now? Jazz Connect at Lincoln Center. Then
is that what used to be IAJE?
IAJE, yeah. Jazz Times, and then they changed it to another thing. Then Jazz Connect now it's called something else. But it's at Jason's office, which is fun. And then we roll into APAP, and then we would roll into Winter Music.
But Winter Music, I think, is going virtual. Yeah.
That's canceled.
Yeah.
I think he canceled it. And
I think they're going to do some streaming performances. But
that's cool. And the Jazz Conference is put off till May, but the APAP is happening January 14th to 17th. I mean, 20 years ago, it was a flu trap. I'd be there with whoever be going, where's my, do you have that alcohol? My brother, 25 years ago, was in his car, had a bottle of alcohol and a bottle of aloe. And we would mix them together. He invented his own hand sanitizer back then. Should have marketed it. But anyway, I'm doing just fine. Oh, hi, Josephine. So anyway, and then I usually there was a conference in Kansas City that I was going to be going to in January, the Folk Alliance. That's put off now till May. So maybe Rolf and I will be running around in May.
I hope so. So I'm even surprised APAP is happening. But I wonder what they're going to do in terms of size restrictions, and I don't even want to speculate. I mean, putting any event on
APAP has over 20,000 performances in 3 days. It's
I know.
insane. It's
I mean,
you know, there's a
wait,
concert
but
every 5 minutes for.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to imagine how they're going to manage that, but not my problem. But I mean,
I'll be right here.
yeah, for anyone who's doing presenting of anything at this point, it's a nightmare. It's I just feel for everybody who's waiting to find out if they're working that night. And my friends, Ben Porowski just said, Hadestown got shut down for a few more days.
Yeah. Well, but that's going to be that's the rest of his life. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
It's
that's not a
crazy.
problem to have. I mean, Rolf and I have nothing booked at this point.
Right.
Nothing booked. I have a gig February, the weekend of Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But do I want to be in a club? I don't think so.
That's and you don't know. I mean, they think Omicron is going to peak in mid-January.
Sure.
Like how fast the new infections go down is another story, or if it'll stay at a plateau or whatever, but we'll have to see.
I had a friend who died yesterday. He was vaccinated. He died yesterday. So,
oh man,
glad that Omicron's not a beverage, right?
Yeah.
So you've been watching Betty White. Anything else that we need to?
Last night I was Betty Whiting, and then I was occasionally jumping over to the Honeymooners Marathon, which is an annual tradition in New York. Channel 11 has done, I think, every episode of the Honeymooners, which is only 38 episodes. They go all
really
night.
only 38?
Yeah. Well, there were two different as a freestanding TV sitcom. The episodes that everyone knows that was on for just 1 year, and TV seasons were really long, so they had 38 episodes. But there were also episodes of the Honeymooners within Jackie Gleason's variety show. But those are called the lost episodes because they weren't, they didn't have videotape back then. And the Honeymooners shows that most people know were recorded on a very early TV film recording medium that made it possible to preserve it, because TV was either live or done in very elaborate film shoot. I Love Lucy sort of pioneered the elaborate TV film shoot, with 3 cameras.
I watched that the other night, the Ricardos.
Yeah. And I've watched moments of it, and I
got bored. I love it because I like the fashion, and I like when they're on the set, and I like William, and I like the William and the Ethel and the relationships between them, the whole thing. I actually turned it off, and then I started it again, and then I just went.
Yeah. I'm my Aaron Sorkin watching is kind of almost exclusively hate watching at this point. It's like I think he's gone from being this really promising in the days of the West Wing and all that. He was like this one guy, and I don't know what exactly happened to him, but I just think he's terrible now. I mean, anytime I see Aaron Sorkin's name on something, it's like
I watched something the other day with him in it, and I don't remember what it was. We watched Emily in Paris. Is that what it was?
How was that? Yeah,
it's cute. It's
I heard it's cute. Yeah,
it's fabulous being in Paris, and her fashion is great, and the characters are funny, and it's great. It's something to go there with.
Yeah. Well, I'm fully back on board with How To with John Wilson, which I've praised numerous times already. It just the new ones came on last night, so I have to watch that one. But the one before that was just it was called How to Remember Your Dreams. And it starts on that premise and then goes off on just amazing tangents, and then it comes back at the very end. The last moment of it just had me howling. It was so brilliant.
We'll start that. We've been saying we were going to do that. Oh, right. Licorice Pizza.
I really want to see that. I'm hearing great things about that. I saw one pan of it today by a guy who I occasionally encounter online, and it was a guy I almost never agree with. So I said, "Oh, okay, I'm going to love this." So Yeah, I always like to see someone whose opinions are like, completely useless to me, hate something that, like, there was this amazing hateful review of the new West Side Story by this guy Richard Brody in the New Yorker, and this guy is completely out of his mind. I mean, he just like, I think he fantasizes the movie before he goes in to see it. Like he just like he directs this movie in his head, and if the movie he sees on the screen isn't the movie he directed in his head, he pans it. It's like, because it is so detached from the intentions of the filmmaker, whatever he writes. Yeah. So I read his. I had already seen West Side Story when I read his review, and I said, yeah, that's a Richard Brody review. He lives in a complete parallel universe. Yeah.
Is it you? Does he ever write positive?
He does. He's got a handful of darling favorite directors that he praises probably too much. Interestingly, the main review of West Side Story in the New Yorker was by a different film critic, but somehow they let Richard Brody write a column. I don't know how this guy stays employed, because like I know no one who takes him very seriously. But anyway.
Did you know that Michael? It's on How To is on HBO, correct?
How To is on HBO, yes, and then HBO Max after the initial run.
I've been watching the Sex and the City reboot. It's like
I have not.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about Jane Meadows. Jane Meadows got residuals because of an agent demanded them ahead of time, and then Jackie Gleason got none.
Well, he owned the show, so
That's
he didn't get. I think he didn't get acting residuals, but he pretty much owned it outright. So that was the residual system back then was like really, actors got peanuts. Yeah.
Audrey Meadows.
Right. Jane Meadows was Steve Allen's wife.
Starring Jane Meadows, starring Audrey Meadows. I used to watch that. I discovered that when I was a kid, because I like to watch TV late night. My parents would go to sleep, and sometimes like on a Friday night, I found that one night, and I thought, yeah, Mr. Big, yeah, Big's been accused. Yep, multiple times.
What Suzanne? I love The French Dispatch, Suzanne. The French Dispatch is amazing.
What's the French Dispatch?
French Dispatch is the latest film of Wes Anderson.
Oh.
Of Rushmore and Royal Tenenbaums and
love Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah, Royal Tenenbaums is
so much
major favorite movie.
Did we see that together in New York?
We might have.
I think we did.
I think it's possible. And then I saw the what was the one he made, that one about the Jacques Cousteau-like character that Bill Murray played. I'm blanking on the name. But I saw that one with sassy Sharon Donovan in New York. So
how sassy? My hair is longer than. Well, her hair is probably really long now. Who knows?
I think she's. Yeah, it's not the extreme sassy that she had some years ago.
So sassy when she cut her hair.
Yeah.
Where is this French thing?
French Dispatch. French Dispatch is now
Life Aquatic.
It's right. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, I think it was called. Yes, and that was. I mean, I just love the little universe that Wes Anderson creates. Like the visual quality of his movies is always amazing. The French Dispatch is, I think, the most Wes Anderson movie ever. I mean, it just packs as much Wes Anderson into it as possible. You were asking about right now. I don't think that you can just do a one showing rental of French Dispatch. I think you can either buy it on Blu-ray or buy it for download. That means it'll be streaming probably sometime in January. But it's still in theaters. I went to a movie theater in which I was the only customer.
Really?
To see it was really funny because I got to this movie theater and the lobby was really crowded. But it was because the new Spider-Man movie was opening that day. Yeah. And so I go up to the concession to get some popcorn, and they say, "Oh, what movie are you seeing today?" And I say, "The French Dispatch." And they said, "Oh, you'll have lots of room." And it was great. I was like in total, like my little private screening room. I loved it.
How cool. Was it a larger theater? Or when it
the screen I saw it, I mean, like a lot of these multiplexes, you know, they get really big screens into these places without a huge number of seats. And I was like, you know, close up, so totally enveloped by the movie, and you know, sounds great, you know, looks incredible. I still love seeing movies in theaters so much, and want to figure out ways to do it, you know, whenever it seems safe right now.
Yeah, I haven't been to one.
Oh, Suzanne says they have now um you now
Is it-
can rent you can now rent the French Dispatch for $6. That must have just happened,
Huh.
because I checked it just like a week ago, because I want to see it again very much. I'd
We'll
love
have
to see it
put that
again.
on the list, Gracie.
Yeah,
French
it's
Dispatch.
it's really brilliant. It covers these several eras of history, and sort of nails little details about each of those eras really beautifully. And
Michael says it's on demand.
oh, so that's different. That I think means you have to pay more. I don't know. Anyway, well, we'll see. Well, you know, you kids do your own research and figure it out. It's
Right.
worth seeing. I would actually purchase it in digital form. This is a movie I would be happy to own because there's so
Okay.
much great detail in it. I might even buy the Blu-ray because maybe there's good bonus stuff on it.
Do you have anyone on your show tomorrow? Speaking of shows,
No one, no specific guest. A week from tomorrow, we have Ken Babbs of the Merry Pranksters, whose
Wow.
new book is just coming out, which is kind of a memoir, but he says it's like not really, it's not like a linear memoir. It's like just a collection of little essays and stories, but it's, you know, all about the Merry Pranksters, Kesey and the Grateful Dead and Bill Graham, and you know, it's going to be great. Babbs is an amazing storyteller. So
I'm excited. What's the book called?
the book is called.
And have you read it yet? Did you get a
No,
sneak peek?
no, my copy, I think is supposed to get here on Monday. It's already like got a tracking number from USPS. So I think it was supposed to be here Friday, and now that we've had a holiday and a Sunday, I think it gets here on Monday. Anyway, it is called, I think, Cronies.
Hmm.
I think Cronies is the name. But anyway, it's just about him and his many wacky pals, and it ought to be really fun to read.
Fun. And I have a couple more questions, but a main question I'd like to ask you, since you're not going to be in Mexico,
Yeah.
what are you doing next Saturday night?
Well, you know, I mean, even if I was in Mexico, I would have tried to be
Oh,
on a.
thank
I
you.
really, if I could have figured out a way, I would have done.
That would have been
And that-
cool.
If I had the reception, you know.
You and Jeff could
Uh,
have done like a, six,
Yeah.
6 to 10 feet away kind of a vibe.
That's
I'm
right.
really
But
happy that you made that decision, Gary. I know that was a big one.
yeah, I'm really happy, and I'm also, you know, massively disappointed that I don't
Sure.
get to have this experience. And you know, if I could go there, and you know, one of the best things about going to, you know, dead related shows is there are many hugs. You know, many hugs and kisses ensue. And you know, I've desperately missed this, but I can't. You know, when you go there and you're deprived of that, it just
That's part of the reason why we go, is to connect.
the communion. So
What
so
about
without,
David?
no, David's not going either.
Okay.
David, you know, I told you about the situation where I got gifted these tickets
Kind of.
for Mexico. Well, this is a great story.
Okay.
I had this friend, you may have met her way back, 90s Bay Area. Name is Lorelei.
Lorelei.
My friend Lorelei, who came to
I
many
remember
dead
Lorelei.
shows with me.
Sure.
And she worked at Yoshi's. She worked at the old Yoshi's on Claremont, which is kind of where I really first got to know her.
Totally know who she is.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I saw her at dead shows, and I see her waiting at Yoshi's, and I said, "Haven't I seen you at Kaiser?" And that's how our friendship started. Anyway, in the early 90s, she was a struggling student at UC Berkeley, you know, and you know, just couldn't afford to go to shows. She was just like scratching along, and I actually, you know, we became close friends, and I started getting her, you know, I would get her comps for shows because I got like 4 comps for every Bay
I
Area.
remember.
Yeah. So she became a beneficiary, and then she got, you know, I'd get her backstage passes, and she got to know Bear and Roni, Bear's former companion. And so she got like kind of into the family, you know, so she's always had this incredible, you know, gratitude to me for that, which was just the easiest thing in the world. And I loved doing it. And we became friends for life. Since then, she has become quite well-to-do, and she bought me my trip to Mexico. She said, "Gary, I really want to give you something." And she said, "This is the perfect opportunity." Unfortunately, we were going to be there together, and now we're not. I think she's still planning to go. But anyway, so that was a gift. And then Gans got separately gifted by just like someone he didn't even know, a fan. This is the thing. There are lots of deadheads with disposable income.
Yeah.
It really defies the whole impoverished hippie thing, because anyone who was planning to go
it's become a high tick. It's like going to Jazz Fest.
It's like a lifestyle event rather than just go being in itinerant.
Go to Jazz Fest anymore. You go, are you going to Jazz Fest? Yeah. Am I going to go? Like that's because I gig while I'm there and I have a place to stay, or
right.
What'll happen this year, we'll see. But it's still $100 just to get in to the festival each day. To get to the festival, unless I walk there from where I'm staying, I always walk.
Yeah.
But if I have to get back to be there for the gig, but there's, you're spending a person that is going for the experience probably spends $500 a day.
Probably,
food,
and the thing about Jazz Fest is it's still a bargain. That's the amazing thing about it. The quantity of music you get, and then all the stuff that's going on Frenchman and all that, which is.
But I mean, even that stuff, DBA goes from $5 a night to $25 to $40 a night.
That's
That's how they make
another
money.
thing. That's the survival strategy of all those venues, and that's why all those venues are more imperiled than ever, because they don't have that cushion of Jazz Fest. I hope it can happen this year. I hope.
I do.
Yeah. So I had this free ticket, and then when it developed that we might do the halftime show from down there, that also would have meant making back almost as much money as the whole weekend would have cost if I was paying out of pocket. So it all would have been gravy, but it didn't work out that way, and I'm sad about that. I'm sad about not being down there with a lot of friends who are going to be there, and just the opportunity to hang on a beach in Mexico would not have been awful.
It doesn't.
So, yeah. So, next year, maybe.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, any epic food projects? Hey, actually, Michael Bailey, thank you very much for stopping by last night. Happy New Year, man. Yeah.
That's not Michael Bailey from the Bay Area. That's
Michael Bailey. Different. Yeah.
Right.
Also in music, but not. Yeah. I haven't talked. I need to reach out to Michael Bailey.
Yeah, he's one. I think he's still at Live Nation. One of the very few BGP people from that era who's still there, or he was last I heard. Anyway,
I went into him at Jazz Fest or at Preservation Hall at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Epic food. Well, today I just had another soul satisfying burger. Really good, nice big. I had a big one on an onion roll, with sauteed onions and this really nice aged cheddar. Yeah, and of course,
I remember
Amish wedding relish, of course.
Wedding relish. Amish wedding relish. Amish wedding relish. Amish wedding relish.
Right. But
they
just
I had to go there.
They love my sweaty balls. That sketch is like endlessly perfect. It is. They ran a primetime SNL Christmas special where they showed Ron McClendon, and they show that one, and it's the performances in that. Who is it? Anna Gasteyer and who's the other one? The one who did Mary Catherine Gallagher. I'm blanking on this name. I've known forever. Anyway, they were so perfect doing that local NPR station kind of
voice.
Delivery. Oh God, it was
that tone.
Great. Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Right. But the great food blessing for the previous 2 nights for my New Year's Eve meal and my New Year's Eve meal was in the form of a gift I received, a slightly post-Christmas gift from my brother and sister-in-law. Lobster roll in kit form from McLoon's Lobster Shack in way up in northern Maine. I forget the town in Maine, but North
From
Thomas.
Golden Belly. Was it a Golden Belly delivery or?
Yeah, Gold Belly delivery, and you get these, get this generous container of excellent lobster meat. You get the 2 rolls. You get the little paper sleeve that they serve you, the Lobster Shack to eat it in. You got a quart of excellent clam chowder. They send you this butter from a local creamery that you put on the roll.
So cool.
Yeah, all the even the little you don't even have to bring your own mayonnaise. They send the mayonnaise. So it's and I love lobster rolls so much. We've had these lobster feasts, family lobster feasts for years, and then we would take the leftover lobster and make our own lobster rolls. But this was just the essence, just the lobster roll.
I love that your family's connected that way. That's really beautiful.
Yeah. So that was great. And we did a Zoom dinner.
So everybody ate lobster rolls together?
Well, they actually got, because the whole family was coming over, or actually my niece stayed home, but my brother, sister-in-law.
Your nephew, how's your nephew? He's all
he's
good?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he never had any symptoms. He came out. They thought it might have even been a false positive, because sometimes that happens. But he locked down and he came out, and so they all, the kids and his wife, Ben's wife, and my bro and Martha, they got whole lobsters, and they did the traditional family sit down lobster meal, and I was by remote with my lobster rolls, so that was
beautiful.
Quite beautiful. Yes,
that's cool. Well, my friend, it is just about midnight, 11:59, and I am going to, if it's okay with you, I'm going to take Lillian out for a very quick walk because she doesn't like the snow. She prefers sand. So I need to get her in and out and in quickly. And then I'm going to curl up and watch some Betty White on SNL.
Fabulous. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you. Thank you, Betty. Oh, I mean, forever. She was so good with the animals too. Her daughter is a friend of my sister's. And Lisa, started the Milo Foundation, but Betty was an animal advocate from way back.
Way into rescue pets and all that stuff. Yeah, no, she was a great advocate. And when Betty White told you something, you listened. Sure. It wasn't like having one of those ASPCA guilt trip commercials. It was like just
real.
Oh yeah, Betty's
just totally from the heart.
It's just Betty being cool.
Yeah. So do you have a letter for me?
Should it be B for Betty?
B for Betty. I'm there. And we'll lead it into from here because there are
11 with Jenna.
And Gary.
11 with Jenna.
Right now.
11 with Jenna.
And Gary.
11. We're gonna go right now. 11 with Jenna. With Jenna. 11 with Jenna. Right now. 11 with Jenna.
And Gary.
11. We're gonna go right now.
Who? What?
And Lillian Pearl.
Hello, Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. How are all of you? There we go. It's how we roll. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary Lambert. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Everybody know it's New Year's Day, and now it was New Year's night. Now it's second day, New Year's Day, and I am having fun and have some play. So I gotta go out in the snow real quick, watch her make some yellow maybe, and I'll just go right there. And I will say to you, stay safe, stay healthy, and oh yeah, so be real nice. And I will say for Betty, let's all have Betty White thoughts. Let's all be Betty White words and try to have a Betty White heart. That's where I'm going. Love hard, everybody. Thanks, Gary.
And for Betty White, laugh hard, real hard.
Real hard. Good
Good
morning.
night.